Greetings, all you maniacs, minds, runner crimes, and today we're talking fiction once again. So, today we're going to be talking about the Avali. Now, before we talk about this really cool species, I just want to say, after I go over briefly the quote unquote canon lore, because I think a lot of it is going to be retconned, I hope, I'm going to go over what I would like for this species. What would I change? So, the Avali are these dudes. They are very weird looking, right? They're like alien bird space raptors. Anyway, these guys are from the planet known as Avalor, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm probably not. And they are a very technologically advanced race, and that's not the most interesting thing about them. One of the things that I have a big problem with is their ammonia-based biology. I'm not saying that that cannot work, but it's a bit of a stretch, to be honest. Their planet is supposed to be this frozen wilderness that's supposed to be around negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really cold, and they're supposed to just, be chilling on this planet as if it was a warm summer's day. They're too small. They're way too small. These dudes are like 3 feet tall, weigh probably 70 pounds, soaking wet. Their feathers and fur are not thick enough. They're way too thin. And I don't care what some people say. Oh, but there's like, we have uh, animals on this planet that have some sort of like biological antifreeze in their blood. But they also have blubber and also have a high body temperature. The Avali apparently don't have any of those. That's not how that works. I'm sorry, I know what the creator was going for. Make an alien species that is way alien, like something that we wouldn't even predict. But it's a bit of a stretch. Anyway, the Avali have a sort of a pack mentality. A group of like 4 or 5 Avalis will like grow up with each other, and they're like essentially family, which is cool. And they are very picky about outsiders coming into their little area. That's fine. They're also supposed to be nomadic, traveling these wastes for some reason, but their technology is what helps them a lot here. They effectively have 3D printers that puts ours to shame. So, and if you look at Avali technology, there's a lot of white and orange. Don't know why, but that's fine. You mostly see this in Starbound. Starbound does, go a little bit into like what their technology is like, what their weapons are like, and everything like that. Supposedly, what their weapons are like. Anyway, they're also a spacefaring species. They can go to other star systems, and because of the extreme conditions that they live on, by the way, their planet, or moon, because apparently they're supposed to be orbiting a gas giant, which, that's fine. I'm not mad at that. That's okay. But it's supposed to have like 25% of our gravity. Okay, I'm fine with that. But the amount of engineering that we need to go into a spacesuit, essentially an environment suit, to simulate that, so the Avali aren't in immense pain walking around or can't even walk, I don't know. Again, I feel like it's a bit of a stretch. When you start to look through all of this, and I mean, I'm a lore fanatic. I love good backstories to characters and creatures and all that. I love that kind of shit, like mythology and all that's awesome to me. But it just sort of falls apart on itself. So, that's a very brief overview of the Avali. What would I change? Oh man, I have a lot of changes. First off, let's nix this whole frozen wasteland nonsense. When I see an Avali, I see a creature that is perfect for a forested environment. But that's just me. And on this new Avalor, if I'm even saying that properly, which I'm probably not, I would imagine it being a very green planet. Lots of forests, swamps, jungles, maybe some plains here and there, and some major oceans. Essentially like Earth, just very forested, very green. Uh, Very little deserts. There might be some deserts, but not that many. Anyway, I would say that their gravity is similar to Earth's, maybe a bit less, and I would nix the whole ammonia based blood and ammonia based hemoglobin because it can work, but again, it's a bit of a stretch. I just as much I know some things about biology, but I don't know everything. I'm not a biologist, but it seems a bit more of a hassle than a benefit. So either they would have iron-based blood or iridium-based blood. Iridium would work at just as good as iron. This would mean that the animals on their planet would also have iridium blood. Uh, I mean, that's not true here on Earth. Not every single animal on this planet has iron-based blood. Some of them don't, but I'm pretty sure those are only sea creatures. Either way, this would also mean they would have to carry rations with them whenever they go to other planets or they would have to have, like, I don't know, iridium based supplements. Not that big of an issue, really. What would iridium deficiency be like? Would it be like iron deficiency? Probably. Because iron deficiency is like lightheadedness and stuff. I mean, I forget the whole everything that goes on with iron deficiency. Anyway, so on this new Avalor, big forests, and when I mean big, and trees that are truly titanic. I would love to see these trees being so huge that these little 3 foot, 4 foot tall creatures could have cities built into the tree trunks. How cool would that be? Like you're an explorer of the galaxy and you come across Avalor, like you're scanning for life, and there's a lot of life, but it's all in the trees. And then when you meet the Avali, their cities are in the trees. That would be so fucking cool. Also, going back to the old lore, before I go back to my lore, what I would do for them, they're supposed to be able to fly. No, their wings are way too small. I can see them gliding, but not actually like flapping and flying. No. Also, them being so lightweight, and because they're near a gas giant and all of the turbulence, they'd be flung around all over the place. Poor things. Anyway, so I would say that Avalor is a Earth-sized planet, maybe a little less gravity. That's fine. It doesn't the gravity doesn't have to be 9.8 meters per second squared. It could be like 8 meters per second squared, and that really wouldn't affect too much. I mean, a human going there, you'd feel lighter, but it wouldn't be like it wouldn't be super noticeable. Anyway, I would keep them as a technologically advanced spacefaring species. They would have fusion power and all of that good stuff, or maybe even geothermal, because they would probably have a lot of facilities underground and, just using the planet to power their stuff. I mean, it's a decent idea, right? I mean, if there's a lot of like activity, volcanic activity, then you can use geothermal. I mean, it's not that. I mean, it'd be difficult, but it wouldn't be hard for an advanced alien species like them. I would keep their pack mentality, but I would say most of them would probably abolish that because they're living in big cities and there's no room for that nonsense. I would say that there would be tribes of more traditional Avalis where they reject technology mostly, kind of like the Amish, where they are just more traditional. That'd be fine. I would also say that there isn't just one breed of Avali. I would say different regions would have different types of Avalis. This one is stronger, this one is faster, this one's taller, this one's smaller, all of that kind of stuff. It would add some more variety into the species and not just be the same Avali design with different colors. Also, speaking of their colors, The males are the pretty ones. They are very, bright, vivid colors, and the females are more bland looking. So they're bright, vivid colors. So a bright blue Avali in a frozen wasteland on white snow. Yeah, that sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? So that's just the overview of the Avali and what I would do for the species. I think it's a very cool species. I think Avali are adorable. And if I ever get starbound, I'm definitely checking out the Avali mod. Anyway, forgot to mention this is technically a furry species, but technically it was made in spore first, and I think there was a little bit of lore written about them, and then they went to starbound. So, can you really call it a furry species? I'm gonna say yes, because there's a lot of people that have Avalis as their personas, um, but it's not necessarily. Also, one other thing I would add that protogens and the primogens, I'm just going to call them the Zenithians, would team up with the Avali. I would say that they would probably make contact because, hey, this spacefaring species is going places, and the Zenith are an intergalactic civilization, and they'd be interested in that. Because like, oh, we didn't know these guys exist. Let's go say hi. Um, I think that would be very cool. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, lore wise. But I would love to see that happen. Anyway, overall, I think the Avali is a very cool species. They are really cute. They are honestly pretty cool looking. I just wish that the lore made more sense. I wish it was more grounded. And again, I'm not bashing the creator, the writer of the lore. I know what they were going for. Make an alien species that is so different from humans because we don't know what could be out there. And that's true. But it's pushing it a little bit. That's just my 2 cents on it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, in Trophy, we trust.